Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason, as always, my co-host. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
You look like you just woke up from a nap.
Dude, I've been dragging all day. This daylight savings is
It
bullcrap.
sucks, dude. Freaking sucks.
Had to get up early and go to the doctor this morning to get some stuff checked out. And
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this daylight savings. I would
guess
be okay.
Guess who doesn't care about daylight savings?
Who?
Dogs.
They still got to eat. They
They
still
still
want
got
to
to
eat
eat. They still
and
got to
go out at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. Guess who else doesn't care? 8-month-old babies.
No, Jordan doesn't care neither. Baby J doesn't care.
No.
Our dogs are on a schedule. They eat at 7 in the morning and 7 at night. So they're like, dude, what's up? Where's our stuff? Hey, before we get into the fights, have you watched that show on Netflix, Murder Among Mormons?
No, my parents were just telling me about it though and said it was really good and we need to watch it. They said it's pretty crazy.
It was a little slow at first. I'm going to say probably there's only 3 episodes in there.
Yeah.
For the first 2 episodes are kind of like meh, and then the third one they just drop the hammer. You're like,
I'm gonna get a little personal since you brought it up. Everybody knows that I'm active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah. Everybody knows, like I and I believe it. I believe in it, and I'm not perfect, but everybody has their faults, but I do get a little like chip on my shoulder about it because I personally feel like the Mormon faith and culture is like the one thing that it's like free game to crap on, right? Like worldwide, like, okay, you could not go make a Broadway play making fun of Catholics or Muslims, but you can do it on Mormons, and it's accepted. It's like, it's funny, just laugh at it. Yeah. And you know what? I've watched part of it, and like I can laugh at it. That's not the issue. The issue is what up, Kendrick? The issue is that you can't do that about any other religion, just Mormons. Go do that about Catholics. See what happens. Go do it about Muslims. It's not happening.
I won't go into the show, but it's really good.
No, but so when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's just something else just crapping on Mormons.
No, it wasn't.
And then my parents were like, no, it's good. You should watch it. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too in the beginning, and then as it started going, I was like, "Oh, I see where we're going with this."
And my whole point, I just want to say, my whole point is just if I try and be super respectful. I really don't care what other people believe. Whatever makes you happy, I don't care. I'm not preaching. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody. Obviously, everybody knows I have my own faults. Yeah, and it's whatever, but I'm just like, but I do like when people just start like banging on it. I'm like, man, can you like nobody bangs on other religions that way because it's like a hate crime, but it's okay for so I get like a little chippy about it.
You listen to Joe Rogan or any comedian, they go hard sometimes. It's like, whoa.
But Joe Rogan also tells you, like I have Mormon friends. They're some of the nicest people I've ever met. Like they're great. And Joe Rogan talks about, he's like, people just stay away from like Salt Lake. It's like a little like sanctuary. Everybody's nice. They got good food, like great hunting, like they all love Salt Lake City. Like they poke their like jabs, like and make little bits of fun. Brendan Schaub, when we went and saw his comedy live here. Yeah. He made little jabs at it, but it wasn't like disrespectful. He just kind of teasing. Yeah. But then he talked about how great Salt Lake was and how nice everybody is here and stuff. And it's like, it just it's interesting for me.
When I first moved out here from Michigan, I was halfway through my freshman year of high school, and I'm checking out with my math teacher. I don't even remember his name, but that's where I got my "now you're rolling" from, because he used to say that in our math class. Okay. And it just stuck with me all these years. Anyway, so I'm checking out with him, and he's like, "Oh, you're moving to Utah. How many wives you gonna have?" And it didn't click with me. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I get it now.
Yeah, it's cool. See, like the little jokes, like I don't mind the little jokes. Yeah. It's fine. I can joke about it. I can laugh about it as long as it's like, respectful. But I'm just like, man, it's just another thing. Like, but anyways, it's not that. I've heard it's good. So,
well, we'll get into fights.
And it's Utah history. So
it is.
So that's cool.
And Doug Anderson just commented, "Hell of a night of fights, huh?" Yes. And we are going to talk about those right now. Do you want to talk about SteelFist first?
Do you want to just like run through the UFC card real quick? Because I feel like we're just going to kind of breeze through that, and then we could share like our real opinions about SteelFist.
Yeah, let's go run through this.
Let's be honest. I'm going to be honest. I've only seen highlights and bits and pieces of fights.
I watched
because we were at SteelFist all day.
Yeah, I watched the main card, and in a little bit, I watched Matt Smellenberger in the first fight. He looked good. I
starched Jason.
I saw that. I saw that coming. I know we were a little bit opposite on that, but his athleticism, he's big, man. He's a big 170er. He's going to be a problem, man. Jin Yu Frey, she beat Gloria DePaul. I think we're both off on that one.
We were wrong because she won the first round, lost the second. And then she on her losing streak. That's how she always started fast and then would lose the second and third.
Yep.
Or got submitted by Kay Hansen in the third. But like everybody always had to turn the tide and she didn't know how to turn it back. And this one, she turned it back for the third round. I did watch that fight. I was good for her. Like, that's cool. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was. She's.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that, Vanessa. We're gonna talk about that.
She is jacked. Like, she is ripped. Anyways, JJ Aldrich and Courtney Casey. It was a split decision.
I thought Courtney. Like, I picked Courtney Casey, and so I think I watched it a little biased. I mean, let's put it this way. They left it to the judges in a close fight. Like, there was no robbery either way.
Yeah, I thought so too. Next up, we had Nazrat and Hafa Garcia. I think it was a fun fight. Yeah,
but Nazrat, like, I don't know. If you're Nazrat, I get that you're fighting a 12-0 guy making his UFC debut. I don't know. You're never disappointed in a win in the UFC. But it's like, if you're Nazrat, it's like you probably wanted to finish there.
Doesn't he look like do you see that little side-by-side pic? Kelvin Gastelum? Yeah.
Oh, 100% he does.
Didn't somebody call I think Bisbee or somebody called him Gastelum too on the broadcast. I didn't catch it, but I saw the meme.
That's funny.
Yanni Yaha and Ray Rodriguez.
Called it.
Dude.
Yaha by submission. Called it.
His freaking grappling and wrestling is just.
I hope y'all cashed in on that because I told you how he would win. I just didn't say second round. I should have said second round.
Hold up. I just have to let everybody know. Zach and I bet on LFA fights on Friday night. I text Zach. I'm like, who we betting? He sends me these picks, 6 picks, 3-team parlay, and then 3 underdogs. We picked 3 underdogs. All 6 hit.
Cash money.
On the money, 6-0 Friday night. So
cash money.
You should be wearing the genie hat right now, but I'm in Sandy, you're in Layton, and I'm not driving up there to give you a genie hat.
Kaysville, I'm playing around in Layton.
Next up, Charles Air Jourdain and Marcelo Rojo.
We were
Charles
all over.
Yeah,
we're all over Jourdain.
Ashley Yoder, Angela Hill was next. Angela Hill looked good in that fight. I think we
she does look good. She didn't look 4-1 good, but she looked good.
She looked good. Your boy Eric Anders and Darren Stewart. Man, I watched that fight today. I think it should have been stopped, but I'm not Herb Dean, and clearly Herb Dean likes to watch the fights go a little longer. So no contest due to a legal knee, but I think the writing was on the wall. Your boy was going to finish Darren Stewart.
As I predicted, I like Aaron Anders. I just think he's a different breed, a lot like Matt Spellberger. Like, he's just that athlete, and that he's just got that competitive dog in him. I'm just a big fan of Eric Anders too.
Yeah.
I like Darren Stewart too.
Yep.
Little shout out to Houston PD, right?
Yes, Houston PD. Hey guys, everybody turn in. We're almost to the SteelFist card. We're just jamming through this UFC card. Next up we have Menel Cape and Matthias Nikolai. I think we were both on Cape. Split decision. I saw a lot of people saying that there was controvery. Look, it was a split decision. I mean, that third.
Menel Cape, if you're this bad, flyweight like you say you are, come in and stop some dudes, dude.
Yeah, I'm not mad after watching it. I don't think there was any controversy. I think it could have went either way, and it did. So, this one surprised me. Davey Grant and Jonathan Martinez. Man, Davey Grant, with the freaking body shot, left hook, out.
Body shot,
left hook combo, and he dropped him.
Yep.
Dan Ige and Gavin Tucker, we were both off. Ige with the 1-punch KO straight down the pipe. What did we just talk about on Friday? About the basics.
Yeah, basics win. And you know what's still crazy to me? The most devastating punches usually are the most basic, a straight right or a straight left. Drops, every like that. It's like all the fancy footwork and switching and all this stuff. It's like, what puts people to sleep? A clean straight left or a clean straight right. And Dan Ige threw a straight right down the pipe and sat Gavin Tucker down.
Yes, he did.
Saw that one. That was
Dan Ige, man.
Yeah.
Ryan Superman Span and Misha Krukhanov.
I was dead wrong about this. I thought this would be the exact opposite. Shut up. You did that. Get out of here.
And then we ended the night with Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. You and I were arguing a little bit after this. I think Edwards should get a title shot. You do not think.
Why should he get a title shot off of a no contest eye poke? Because he won the first round?
I think the writing was on the wall on that one. Muhammad was getting knocked out. Bro,
how many times have we seen tides turn?
You're right. No, I agree.
Anything can happen in a fight. It needs to be ran back. It needs to be ran back.
No, give him the shot.
No. Hear me out here. Bilal Muhammad took this fight on short notice, short camp, saved Leon Edwards because he says no, Leon Edwards isn't fighting.
That's true. Then he's out
after
again.
A year and a half. I think Leon Edwards, man up. You owe Muhammad that. I think he owes him that.
Here's the thing, though: is how long is Muhammad going to be out?
What? A couple weeks before he can start training again? A week?
It depends. It depends on how bad that eye is. If he can run it back soon, within the next 4 to 6 weeks,
2 months,
2 months, I could see that.
Leon Edwards is fine taking breaks. He just took one for 18 months.
He looked good though for having that much layoff. He looked freaking. He looked sharp.
That's great. He always does. Always does. But guess what?
And he was trying to finish him. He was going to finish him. I'm going to stand by that. He was going to finish him. If they run it back,
you know what? He probably was. He probably was. I'm not arguing that you're wrong or whatever. I'm just saying Bilal Muhammad did Leon Edwards a solid and did him something that he didn't have to. And probably wasn't in Muhammad's best interest. Sure, it's like high risk, high reward. Yeah. But like, dude, he saved Leon Edwards to be on that card and pretty much saved the card. I think the UFC should do the right thing, and I think Leon Edwards should do the right thing. If you're Leon Edwards and you were beating him that good, dude, just go do it again and just get the finish and then get a devastating finish, then call out Usman, and then, okay. But again, it's another win over a guy that's, 11?
If it can be ran back quickly, I'll agree with that. If they have to wait 3-4 months, it's like, let's get Edwards in there, man.
If it's after 3 months, I think that's fair for Leon to say, no, I want to take another fight and whatever. But guess what? He's not getting Usman in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Usman's not fighting him in the next 3 months.
Well, Usman probably won't fight again until next year, knowing
Usman's chilling. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stay active, bro.
Yeah.
Stay active. That's been Leon Edwards' biggest enemy is that he won't stay active.
Well, I mean, COVID last year, I'm going to give him a little bit of a.
I give him a little bit, but he's had opportunities to fight and he's turned it down. He's had opportunities and he's turned it down.
All right. Let's talk about SteelFist.
Because that was way better anyways.
This was so freaking good. Dude, the energy in that freaking bar, club, whatever you want to call it, was freaking amazing. Let's just start at the bottom, man. First fight of the night, Chu and Tony Luz. That Chu guy took some shots in the beginning and came back, stayed composed, and slapped on that freaking triangle choke. I was impressed, man, with the shots that he took and was able to come back and finish that because that was impressive. Did you get to see it, or were you back?
No, I watched that fight, and I was like, I thought Chu was about to get knocked out.
Oh, I thought he was too. I mean, he ate some big shots.
Just a little, like for people that don't know or whatever, or if you're newer into the fighting, if somebody slaps on a triangle and they don't have quite got it, and you want to pick them up and slam them, you better knock them out. Otherwise, all you're doing is cinching it tighter.
He even took when he first slapped that triangle on, I was able to turn around and watch the thing. He took like 3 shots to the side of the head.
He pounded him in the face.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
And shut up. I thought both of them, they did well. I mean,
they did well.
2-0 guys, they did great. And Chu, like Alexis just said, tough as nails. That kid is tough. He hung in there. He took shots from the bottom. He knew he had the triangle locked up and he just had to sit in it. Great job. Like for an 0-0 guy, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's great.
There were some 0-0 guys we're going to get to that freaking, drop the hammer. Anyways, next up we had Tony Ramirez against Joey Lovato. This is fun, little action-packed fight too. The little guys are throwing down.
Tony Ramirez,
he's tough.
Got heavy hands.
Heavy hands.
Believed he knocked out our friend Doug Anderson up at Front Street for his first fight. He had 2 knockouts, and
Doug said that was a super lucky shot. By the way, I know you're listening, Doug. I got you.
Well, that's cool. I'm just saying.
I know he did.
Landed.
I know. It did.
Landed,
it did.
regardless, it landed. And he won his next fight by strikes, and then but he got a nice submission win on this one, where I actually thought Joey Lovato was getting the better of him on the feet.
I thought he was too. His striking looked really good. And
if Joey could have kept it up on the feet, I think that fight was going his way.
I do too. I think he just needs he's a little green. This was, I think, his first fight, second fight.
First official fight.
Yeah, first official. That's right, first official fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got talent. He's young, and he's still young too. So both those guys are on the rise. Tony Ramirez is now 3-0 now, if I'm not mistaken.
And I heard that he said he wanted a shot of the winner of Jackson Randall and Robbie Minor.
Ooh, I like it.
I mean, I would sign me up for that all day.
Yeah. It absolutely landed. I'd love to run it. Doug Anderson saying it absolutely landed. I'd love to run it with any of the contenders in this way.
Is 125 like one of the most interesting amateur divisions in Utah?
I think it's getting there.
I mean, you got
Marshall brothers are back.
You got Boomer out in Tooele, who for my money he's legit as legit. He can go pro anytime, in my opinion. Not that it matters. Jackson's scary. Nobody wants to stand and bang with Jackson. Nobody.
Yeah.
Including Robbie Minor, who, congratulations, champ. Like, great.
He's a stud.
He said he'd been working on his boxing. His boxing looked better, but once it got to the ground, that was just he was more in his element, and Jackson was a little bit out of his. But anyways, we'll get to that. But 125 weight class is fun, and
I love it.
Hopefully, Tony Ramirez can come back down again and fight here, and hopefully see Joey Lovato again.
I'd love to see him again.
There's some good fights for him around here. He's athletic and he looked good.
There was a little I don't know what the little controversy was at the end. I saw Joey's coach kind of get a little upset. I don't know if the choke was in a little bit long or what, but I noticed tapping the ring, getting in there and getting in the guy's face a little bit. So I don't know what
I just saw the commission talking to him tap after.
Yeah.
Probably just saying, hey man, your coach can't do that. One, he wasn't supposed to be in the cage anyways. No corners were supposed to be in the cage. So that might've been part of it due to COVID protocols. Two, I can appreciate a coach, sticking up for his fighter, but at the same time, there's a way to do it, but I think that was a first for Tap too. Like that's his guy. Like
it's his guy,
sticking up for his guy, and I kind of get that, but probably wasn't. Emotions are high, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man! Appreciate everybody tuning in. Lots of people tuning in today. All right, next up we had Noah Dunya versus Zack Hamilton. We actually reached out to Noah, tried to get him on the podcast last week and didn't end up going down. It's both these guys, a lot of talent with both these guys. Zack Hamilton ended up coming out victorious.
So I talked to Noah after his fight.
Oh, nice.
He was in our corner, and I talked to him before and I talked to him after.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to echo some of the things that I shared with him. And he said, he goes, I'm a street fighter, like these guys. And I was like, and he said something about being a street fighter and like that this is different or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said, bro, you have the heart, like you'll put in the work. You have the heart, you put in the work, and you have the heart, you'll put in the work, but get in a gym, brother. I'm not discrediting any of the independent guys that want to get there and throw down. If you want to just get in there and throw down and you don't really care about wins or losses, you just want to get in there and throw down, keep doing what you're doing. Like if that's your path, that's the beauty of MMA. Everybody has their own path and why they're in it. If you want to win, This isn't absolute. Anything can happen in that cage. It's a crazy cage. Anything can happen. But if you want to win and you want to win consistently, get your butt in a freaking gym. And we have so many good ones. Because I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You get a kid like Zach Hamilton from EGBAR.
Yeah.
Versus an independent kid. That kid's going to win 9 out of 10 times.
9 out of 10 times.
You know, my first opponent, independent guy. My second opponent, independent guy. You know, like guys from our, like guys from gyms, like as they're trying to get wins, they're tough guys. Like the guys I fought, Denny was tough. Scott was tough, especially in that first fight. Like he was tough. Like they were evenly matched fights. The difference in those fights were who was in a gym and who wasn't.
It makes a difference.
Zack is in there with at EGBAR, right? So he has Dane and Amy. Thomas Harper was there. Court McGee rolls through there. Mitch Ramirez throws there. Like, he's in there training with freaking killers, dude. Yeah. And Noah is, probably doing some wind sprints, probably hitting mitts with some other buddies that are independent, putting in the best that he can, trying the best that he can. This is not a knock in any way, shape, or form. Get in a gym, bro. It's different. And there's so many down. He's down in South Jordan. We talked about it. He's got Jeremy Horn's gym down there. There's Absolutes down there. There's, EGBAR is down that way.
Not far,
Atlas. I don't know where Atlas is.
Riverton.
Unified is there in Sandy. I mean, there's all these gyms right down there. It's like, bro, you got to get in a gym.
Yeah, if you want to keep fighting, if
you want to win and you want to get put wins together, get in a gym.
Get in a gym, 100%.
2021 independent guys. I'm sorry, it's just not going to last.
Yeah. Next up, we had Jesus Avina and Scott Lorenzen. There's a little controversy in this one. I had a chance to rewatch it, so I changed my stance on a few things. Scott Lorenzen coming in with the win. Hey, first of all, shout out to the guys. What do you say? He's 50 years old.
Yeah,
comes 50. In there, bucket list, super aggressive.
Little too aggressive.
I mean,
that's what I'm going to call it.
I'm not going to say that the glove touch strike was dirty. I think after you and I talked and after rewatching it, I think he was just amped up. And I think the nerves, the first time being in the cage, and he's looking across at this young kid. And, but
so here's the deal. He trains at a gym. He trains at a gym with one of the best, with one of the legends of MMA, Jeremy Horn.
Yeah.
I get that. That's what the first thing I said when I saw it. I didn't see it in person. I heard about it because I was in the back.
Oh, it was pretty blatant.
When I watched the replay of it, he touched gloves and threw it. I think he was just trying to be, I just think he was over eager because you see most people kind of circle, touch, set, and then go.
Yeah.
And he went and he touched it and threw that right. But I honestly will say this too. I think it changed the outcome of the fight. I think he buzzed Jesus on that.
Oh, it did. It caught him clean.
And I hear people say this: defend yourselves at all time. Okay, then guess what? If that's the case, I'm not touching gloves anymore.
I will say, for the record, I do know somebody that knows him personally, and the guy that's not him. He's not a dirty guy. I don't think he was intentionally went out there to say, "Hey, I'm going to touch this guy's gloves and just rock him."
I agree.
Initially, when I looked at it, I was like, "Whoa, that was a little cheap shot," But it's taking it all in. It's the moment. Obviously, I'm not in there in the cage, so I don't know what feelings he's going through. But you could tell he was amped up.
I agree.
50 years old, he's freaking shredded. He gets in the cage. He's got this kid that's old enough to be his son, and he's hyped up.
Yeah, and I get that. The other thing is too, and we're going to talk about the ref. I mean,
Keith Peterson.
Yeah,
how did they get Keith Peterson to ref the fights?
I'm sorry. Like he had a bad night. And I haven't seen him have a good one, to be honest. And if I was a fighter, I go to the rules meeting and that's going to be my ref for the night, I am more nervous about who my ref is. Because, I mean, quite frankly, I'm just going to be honest about it. He missed stuff that
the fence grab and that blatant fence grab that allowed him to get on top of Jesus.
that affected the outcome of the fight, the fence grab, more than the sucker punch or whatever you wanted to call it, the overamped punch, whatever you wanted to call it. That fence grab was blatant and it was bad. And I'm not a ref. I don't know the legit rules. I think if you see a fence grab, stop a takedown like that, not just stop the takedown, but ends up with the other guy on top of the other guy and mount.
Yeah.
I think you got to stand him up there. I think that's the at least fair thing to do. I mean, I'm not saying Jesus should be put on the ground, stopped, and put on top, but that's where it was going, and he grabbed the fence.
Yeah,
it happens.
It's a tough one, but
another thing is too and for anybody that wants to be like overly like, whatever. When you're not used to it, right? And this is his first fight, and this is not an element that he's super comfortable in. That is a very natural reaction. Is as you're going down, reach out and grab whatever you can, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be fair to it. Jesus is a teammate of mine. I was pulling for him. I was pretty upset in the moment. Still don't like it.
Yeah.
There's things that the ref could work on. There's definitely room for improvement. I'll say that.
I'll say it too. I mean, Scott, he did his thing, man. For a guy that's 50 years old to come in there, that takes some serious balls. So
did he say he was going to fight again?
I'm not sure,
but not like a bucket list one-off thing.
I don't know, but I'd like to see him fight again. I mean,
I'd like to see
he was exciting. He's strong. He's big.
I'd like to see him and Jesus run it back.
I could see that. Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Next up, we had the Battle of the Tylers. This was a fun fight, man. Tyler Billings and Tyler Daniel. Super fun fight. Tyler Billings, long reach, lanky, tough. Tyler Daniel's the long. Tyler Billings was the shorter. Sorry, I mixed that up. Tyler, you guys get it. Tough fight. Win all 3 rounds. What was your take on that? I know Billings trains.
I was in the corner.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were in the corner.
I was Tyler's corner for that fight. Tyler's my guy. Tyler Billings is my guy.
He's tough, man.
When I say he's my guy, the reason why I say he's my guy, him and Marko, we'll talk plenty about Marko. Those two are the 2 guys that were 0-0 amateurs that I have been in the gym with, training with. Tyler fought at 180. Marko's another 185er, about the same size. I have been training with those 2 guys for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And Tyler Billings specifically has been a little bit of a punching bag at one hit. We all beat on him.
Yeah.
Dude. He was freaking there every single day.
That's awesome.
And he was Cole Faust was one of those guys, and I don't want to miss anybody. And I'm not saying that nobody else was this way, but when I was trying to get ready for fight camps and stay in shape, waiting for my rematch with Ryan and then the Fierce card, one of the guys that I could rely on that was there day in, day out was Tyler Billings. And I beat on that dude. You're talking about an amateur fighter that I'm a little bit bigger than he is. I'm 5 fights under my belt. He's an 0, never fought. And he came in every day, and dude, we beat the crap out of each other. I mean, I beat him. He hit me a lot. I mean, I wish people could see how far he's come. He's so teachable.
Yeah.
And he just comes in and puts in the work. He doesn't argue. He doesn't complain. He spars probably harder than he should sometimes, but when people give it back to him, never heard him complain once.
Yeah.
I think he got his nose broke once. Never heard him complain. Just took a couple weeks off the gym and came back. I know I leg kicked him so hard that he couldn't walk. He dang near couldn't train for almost a month because just eating leg kicks constantly from me. But when I said, sorry, man, like I didn't realize like I was causing that much damage, he goes, it's okay. Like it's all preparing me to fight. And
I love it.
Guess what? I think this is fair to say. I think Tyler Daniels thought he had this fight in the bag, and he thought it was going to be an easy fight. I think he thought it was going to be an easy fight, and he thought he had it in the bag. He was taller, he was longer, and he had the experience. Tyler Billings is not an easy fight for anybody. It's not easy.
To be able to overcome that length and reach in your first fight is pretty damn impressive to me, because there's not many guys out there that can do that.
No.
It was a fun fight though. I mean, it was great back and forth. I loved it. I want to see both those guys back in there.
Absolutely. Hats off. Hey, hats off to Tyler Daniel too. Like
he brought a crowd. Like there was a big section of guys there for Daniel. So
yes. Yeah. Well, the Snake Pit represented really well.
They really did.
One Hit and Snake Pit / Salt Lake City Muay Thai. Like they all represented really well.
All right, let's go next up. Our pick for fight of the night by far, and I think everybody in attendance can attest to this, was probably the fight of the night. Marko Sosteric and Trent Miller. Holy crap.
If anybody else has a pick for fight of the night, go kick rocks.
Yeah, these two, you want to talk about laying it all. First of all, Marko, this is his first fight. He's what, 19 years old? We had him on the podcast, 20 years old?
He's a kid, dude.
He's a kid. And then Trent Miller's, he's only had one fight that lasted 10 seconds for Mountain Force, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, and for those guys to show the heart that they did, there's something in the water in Serbia. I don't know how the hell Marko was walking through Trent's punches for 3 rounds.
Not just walking, smiling.
He's getting cracked. And Trent Miller's, he's a big kid. Willing to bet he packs a little power in his punch. He knocked the dude out in Mountain Force in 30 seconds. So, and Marko's just kept coming forward and coming forward and coming forward and coming forward. And at the end of the second round, I'm like, they're going to stop the fight. Trent couldn't even stand.
My personal opinion, the doctor should have stopped the fight.
I thought it should have been stopped too, but I mean, mad props for Trent to the heart to go back out there and eat a couple more shots and then go for a takedown. And Marko's done too. Both these guys are done at this point.
They're at this level amateur. Like, to me, Marko even said, "It's like, I can't believe I lost." I was like, "Dude, you didn't lose that fight."
No,
I mean, there was no loser in that fight.
That fight. I mean, both those guys showed mad heart. Like I said, I don't know how the hell Trent was able to. He even ate a couple shots before he went for the takedown, and then he gets this power takedown. And look, these guys were both gassed, and it just ended up.
Trent had the energy to still shoot a takedown.
I have that alone was just amazing, memory. And you could just tell they just both were just like I mean, if Marko would have ended up on top, it probably would have been Marko that got the hand raise. If for some reason
Trent's face was just jacked up.
Yeah,
jacked up, man. Like I respect for Trent. Everybody, Marko's my guy. Like, I love Marko. Like, he's like my little brother at the gym. Like, I freaking love that guy. Little big brother. You know, he's freaking huge. Fighting the same weight class. Like, I love him. We're both southpaws. Like, and I love his story, where he comes from. He just wants to fight. And when you talk about a kid with heart, though, you know, and he's like, "Why am I so tired?" In the back, I mean, he was back there recovering for an hour, 2 hours. Yeah. You know, and he goes, "Why am I so tired?" And this is what I got to explain to people. His cardio was his first 2 rounds. The fact that he kept fighting and stuff, that you're past your cardio point, your gas tank's on empty. That is heart, soul. You know, that's putting your heart and soul into something. And when you push your limits deep to your core of like your soul and like who you are. Like, I mean, that is conviction. That is he you know, he was fighting to represent his country, and you felt, and you know, and then you felt that with his effort. And I'm not trying to take anything from Trent, because, you know, he answered the bell. He did what he's supposed to do. I thought that the reffing in that fight was horrible.
That was the one that was like, dude, what is going on here? What is this guy doing? Even Trent and Marko were like,
what are we doing? I think there was one where Trent kneed Marko on accident. By the way, there's 3 cup checks, all accidental. Nothing dirty, nothing on purpose, just happened. You know, Marko's freaking huge, so his knees cover a lot of space too. But Trent threw a knee and it hit Marko, and then the ref was talking to Trent for like 60 seconds, letting him kind of catch his breath, and Marko's ready to go. I'm like, dude, that can't happen. That cannot happen. We put, as fighters too, and especially the effort that they put too much effort into. You know, they put too much effort into it for those type of mistakes to happen. They almost look like a lack of competence in there, and unfortunately, that's the vibe every time that guy refs. That there's a lack of competence. You know, you know, some people crap on Dave Selyusted. And I've had 2 rough calls with Dave, 2. and one cost me a title and my undefeated record. Me and Dave are cool. I have no issues with him because I feel like he's a competent ref and I feel like he's in there to protect the fighters. I'm sorry, as an amateur fight, I don't think Trent should have been allowed. I don't think Trent should have been allowed to take more damage. As an amateur fighter, it's not worth it, bro. I mean, it was an amazing sight to see. Amazing.
I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure he was done after that. I'm like, there's no way. I didn't even think he was getting off the stool. So
the doctor told me in the back, he goes, man, I almost stopped it. I go, why didn't you?
For an amateur fight? Like,
yeah, why didn't you, man? But I mean, like you said, Trent's a fighter. He's not gonna say I'm done.
That's hard, dude.
And hats off to both those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys deserve fight of the night, whatever. I can't say enough good things. I love Marko personally. So Marko, I love you. He didn't lose that fight in my eyes. Whatever. It's an amateur record. When he goes pro, nobody will care. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen in SteelFist.
I think this will for both of those guys, they're going to grow levels after that fight. Both of them, I think. All right. Next up, we had Casey Christensen and Wendy Freeman. Yeah. Wendy Freeman's tough. She's a tough girl. And we know what Casey brings with the Twila Martial Arts Academy, what their fighters usually bring. And Wendy's legit, man. Yeah. She looked impressive.
She was good. It was a bummer. She missed weight. So that was bummer.
I missed that. Yeah.
No, she missed it by 3 pounds.
Oh, and Casey still took the fight.
Weird. Not saying, just saying. I props though, they took the fight, and Casey, I think there were some things they had to touch up. Here's the thing though. I loved it because Casey was in our corner. We love Twila mixed martial arts, shout out Keith and Brandon. It's like, it's back to the drawing board, and losing's part of this game, unfortunately. Casey will be back. He'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean to lose to someone like Wendy, who clearly you could just tell her skill level. She was calm, collected. Just like Vanessa says, that chick, she knew her stuff. She had amazing form.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Kendrick Big Wolf and Jared George. This was interesting. A little leg kick fest there for a little bit.
I missed most of this fight. I missed most of it. I did see Kendrick drop him at least once, though.
He dropped him a couple times. The first round, George ended up on top, and I'm really surprised that the ref let it just sit there for 3 minutes, basically doing nothing. So Jared clearly won the first round, and the second and third round, Kendrick's striking you could tell once he started getting that confidence in there, he might have been a little nervous. And I know you talked to him a little bit beforehand. There might've been a little nerves in there going in there. But as soon as his confidence, as soon as those strikes started landing, it was game on.
I just shout out to LJ. Great job on the commentary for it.
Hell yeah, that was
late
awesome.
Notice commentary. Good job. Love LJ in our gym, part of the fam. But man, freaking dude, Kendrick, the kid could fight.
He can fight.
I thought he would. I thought he was gonna. I saw the other guy, and we were sitting in the back, and Kendrick's like, just nervous. I'm like, what are you nervous about? And he's like, and I'm like, dude, you're better everywhere. I've seen his boxing.
Yeah.
And I looked up a little bit on Jared George. Yeah. Jared George. Sorry. 2 first names screw me up all the time. I looked him up, and I'm like, dude, I think you have better boxing, and I think you have better ground game. Eric Whalen's your coach, and you've trained with Josh Berkman and stuff like you know what you're doing. Like, yeah. Dude, be confident in this. Like, you're better everywhere. And I just think that Kendrick just, like you said, he just has to get going a little bit. But as soon as Kendrick starts believing in Kendrick the way that other people believe in Kendrick and his abilities, he can fight. Kendrick can fight.
It was that left hand, man. He just needs to learn to check those leg kicks, Kendrick.
Southpaw power, baby. Yeah. Kendrick's going to run it hot, and he's going to run it back.
It sounds like he's coming right back.
Yeah, it sounds like they have another opponent in the works. So look out for Kendrick. He can't. I don't know what it is. I feel like some people underestimate him, but Kendrick can fight. Kendrick can fight.
And he's not afraid of anybody either.
He's not afraid of anybody.
All right, next up was our first title fight of the night, Jackson Randall and Robbie Minor. This was a fun fight. Robbie hung in there. I think you and I talked about this, obviously, off air. The difference was going to be, can Jackson stop Robbie's takedowns? And he did for a minute, and they were in some weird positions on the ground in the first round. But Robbie's wrestling. He's tough, man.
Again, we had Robbie on. Like Robbie, nice guy. Really, really like him. Congratulations to him, and coming back and getting his title back.
His title back. Yep.
Jackson is, for those people like don't know, like Jackson, it's like nobody's gonna stand and bang with this guy. He is not even 125 pounds, folks. He doesn't cut weight. He weigh in with his clothes on. Like the kid's like 123 pounds, like after workout, fully clothed.
Yeah.
Yeah, his left hook is bomb. But, McKay Diamond beats him because he slips. Michael Eastwood beat him because he slips. Standing with Sean Cook, out. Brandon Lemmings knocked him out. Brandon loses rear naked choke, he's lost 4 times to a rear naked choke. No, 5 now. 5. Yeah, 5 times.
Come on, Jackson.
But guess what?
Go to jiu-jitsu class.
But here's what I'll say. He has leveled up on the ground.
He really has.
He did a lot better this fight.
He really did. He
showed that. He showed that he's better. He's gotten better. He is putting in the work. Anybody that says that, there is such a difference between that fight and then the fights that other ones that he lost. He spent time on the ground. He did some things. He almost had an inverted triangle. Like he almost had it.
He did. And
how sick would that have been if he would have won a title with a submission? And he'll be back at it. Here's the beauty. Here is the beauty with everything. And I said the same thing about a not so popular person on this podcast. It really doesn't matter what your amateur record is how ugly it is, because as soon as he goes pro, it's going to be 0-0 again.
Yeah.
And guess what? When he's ready to go pro and it's 0-0 and everything's come together, all these losses that he's had and experience or whatever, it's just going to make him better. I'll bet money if Jackson decides to pursue a professional MMA career that he will be successful.
Yeah.
Jackson, we're going to do it. I'll teach you that finish, Jackson. That LJ teacher or somebody that does jiu-jitsu better than me. But hey, never mind. I won't say who I've caught in that submission before, but I have caught somebody before that I'll tell you off air in an inverted triangle that would surprise you. But it's not cool. It's not cool to brag about whatever on the mats, but on a podcast. But I'm just saying, he almost had it. And Jackson, I will show you, my friend.
Yeah, it was a fun fight. And shout out to Robbie. Shout out to Agima going 2-0 on the night. They bring up some tough fighters, man. I'm curious to see if Robbie keeps the belt and stays, or if he goes pro, because he was supposed to fight Aleko Poinar, who fought on the Fierce card. They were lined up to fight. So I'm curious to see if he just lets the belt go or if he tries to defend it.
I'd like to see him defend it because, well, for sure, don't let Tyson teach you. He doesn't even come. Stick to kickboxing, Tyson.
There you go. LJ's got you.
Yeah, anyways, let LJ teach him. LJ's got it. He's better.
Super fun fight. Hey, we're going to get next up. We had Cole Foss and Adam Easley. I'm just going to say this, and I'll let you comment again. We've been talking and praising a certain fighter, Mitch Ramirez, as the next guy to come out of Utah. Well, right behind him is Cole Faust. Like, I was telling the guy at the table how young he is and how much he's been training, and I'm like, this Adam Easley guy's no joke. He's 4-1. He's tall. He's lanky, and Cole pretty much had his way with him. And he was methodical. And this kid is – keep your eye out on this kid. I'll let you –
For my money, for my money, Cole Faust is pound for pound the best amateur fighter in Utah.
I would have to agree with that. I don't know anybody right now that has looked that impressive.
My money, Johan Rubio has the best resume, 9-0, and the guys that he's beaten, like he has the best resume, and I'll give him that. But pound for pound, who's the best fighter in Utah right now? Amateur fighter in Utah. I'm going to give the nod to Cole because of how well rounded he is. I mean, somebody's. I mean, no, nobody's going to stand with that kid either. And then once you get on the mat, he's going to drown you.
The way he. Well, first of all, I'll let you tell what he was going. I'll let you tell what he was going for. But for him to knee on belly, mount, strikes, guy flips, rear naked choke, but he was going for something.
Oh, we talked about it all camp. He catches me in it. Freaking Von Flu choke, a bugger. Yeah. He catches me all the time. You better let go of his head. If he takes you down and you hang onto his head, you're gonna get Von Flu choked. And Adam dang near got Von Flu choked. And I know he went for it, but 3 fights in, he wanted to get a Von Flu choke, went for it, didn't have it, didn't force it, moved on.
No,
like a freak, like a veteran,
like a pro. Like he made that look. I mean, the guy that was sitting at my table didn't know who he was, and he looked over at me and he was like, "Wow." I'm like, "Yeah, that he." I mean, what's next for him? Who's going to fight him?
I want to see him fight Julian Ruiz.
He'd have to go pro, won't he? Did Julian go pro? No, nope. So an amateur. There it is.
He didn't fight. He didn't. Julian didn't take the pro fight because his opponent bailed for whatever reason. That fight's going to happen. It's got to happen. Run that. But whether it's AMI or pro, they both want to fight each other. It wants to happen.
Let it happen.
Julian was the 155 champ for SteelFist. Let it go. They tried to make it happen. Then they tried to make it for fear. They tried to make it on the Fierce card. Cole and his dad, being respectful to SteelFist because they tried to make the fight happen first, said no on the Fierce card because out of respect to the SteelFist guys, which is the way it should be. And I fully support and agree with that.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, the Julian in Utah, that's it at 155. I'm no disrespect to the 155ers. I'm not even sure who else they are. Those are the two.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see it.
Can we
see it in May? Can we just see it in May?
Or they could just do it in what? They could just go. They're going to meet up as pros too. I mean, they're going to. It's going to happen. Their paths are going to cross.
All right. Shout out Cole, man. The machine. Next up, we had our 170-pound AMI title was Brody Fernelius and Justin McDonald. This was kind of the battle of the striker versus wrestler. It went all 5 rounds. It was pretty much Brody, 1, 2, 3 combination. Justin trying for the takedown. And shots out to Justin for being consistent and keep with the game plan because he kept stuck with it and finally ended up getting it in the 4th and 5th round. And I think that was the difference in the fight. I think it really could have went either way. I didn't agree with the one judge that had it 45-50. I don't know what fight they were watching. There was no way. I thought Brody won the first 2 rounds pretty clearly. He did more damage.
I think he won the 3rd round too. I don't think it's right because somebody gets a takedown with the last 15, 20 seconds left in the round. When the whole 3rd round went like the first 2 rounds.
I agree, but I'll say I definitely don't agree with freaking 45-50. And props to Brody. This guy comes in. We talked about him before. He's just commenting on here. Props to Brody because this guy's coming in with no training, right? When we had him on here, he just walked in the gym.
He's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler.
He has a wrestling background. He showed really good takedown defense too.
And Justin, he's a strong kid, man. You could see how strong he was in there. And Brody was stopping every takedown.
Yes.
And he has some hands too. Like he was catching Justin a couple times in there.
Brody's got hands and he will stand and fight you.
Props to both of those guys for doing what they did for 5 rounds. So
I just got to say it. Brody's my guy. It's we had Justin on the podcast and I'm not trying to take anything away from him necessarily. He won the fight. And like Brody said, he had a strategy. He had a game plan. It worked and stuck to him. I saw him make a comment that says, I knew he couldn't knock me out. My rebuttal to that would be, then why didn't you stand and strike with him a little bit if you couldn't get knocked out? But I mean, at the other side of it is too, he had a game plan and he executed it and that's fine.
Yeah. He
got the win and he did what he had to do to get the win. And maybe you couldn't, people knock GSP for that forever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not most aesthetically pleasing thing. The fans want to see rock sock'em robots or whatever. I didn't really feel like, Brody didn't have a scratch on his face after the fight.
Well, it's bad when the ref is separating them. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, at some point you got to change something there. When the ref's coming in and separating what, like 3 different times in the third round, I think it was. I think the third round was the one that he was separating them a lot. I mean, hey, he did like Brody said, he did what he had to do. I want to see both these guys back in there. I like what I saw from both those guys. So yeah, let's see more of both those guys.
I Justin, give him credit. He executed game plan. He won the fight. He won the match.
He had an interesting call out at the end. Well, I guess we can't really talk about that on air, but
sure we can. He told Wayne Brown to go F himself.
Oh yeah, exactly, Roman. Yeah, that's exactly what those two guys did.
Yeah.
Get some more of your guys, Roman. Get some more of your guys for the podcast when they get ready to fight. Love those guys.
Yeah, he said that, there's some personal beef there, and I'll just, they can have it, keep it personal. And
yeah,
if Justin wants to make it more public, he can say it. But, Justin's never been anything but respectful to me personally. And I don't have like any ill will against the dude. It's just gym drama and personal family drama stuff that,
yeah.
And if, that's his moment, he earned it. He got the W. He earned it. You get the mic. You get to say what you want.
Crazy.
Good for him.
And what a way to close the show in the main event with Cole Schaefer and Thomas Hopper. I text you after the fight, and I'm like, is Cole Schaefer one of the scariest dudes in the cage? I can't imagine looking across the cage and seeing that guy. The intensity in his face, just walking to the cage, in the cage, those first couple strikes he threw, you could tell that had 365 days of bad intentions behind him, because he was out to take Thomas's head off, which he did.
That left hook was so nasty.
I mean, what's next? And you got to get him another one, which I think they already do, don't they? I think we're going to see him back in the cage in May, right?
I believe. I don't know if
I don't think they've announced it, so don't.
I don't think contracts are signed, so I won't say a name or anything. But I believe they do have somebody that's agreed to fight Cole in May.
I mean, Cole's another one.
Good luck to you, sir. My money's on Cole.
Cole's another one. Man, we have some talented fighters out here in Utah.
Oh, they're sleeping on us, bro.
I mean,
me and Johan Rubio were actually messaging about it on Sunday because he asked how the SteelFist fights were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, dude? People sleep on Utah because you could go to a fight night, whether it's the Fierce card, the SteelFist card. I mean, the Fierce card, right? It had all those big names and stuff. The thing that's so cool about the SteelFist card is how many no-name 0-0 guys, Marko and Trent. You know what I mean? Like, they have one fight combined between them, and then they freaking go to war like that. And, you got Zack Hamilton out of EGBAR, who's 1-0, now 2-0, just a couple of fights. He's super impressive. I mean, there's all these guys that are getting built up through SteelFist. Cole Faust is 3-0, and he looks like a freaking veteran in the sport. Like, dude, people sleep. If people that are sleeping on Utah, they're crazy, man. This is one of the best hotbeds for MMA in the country. And dude, I'll put our guys up against anybody in the country.
Yeah. Tess, that was impressive. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. Cole said 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the first round is what he said on the podcast. And
dude,
didn't keep his word. It's all right. It's all right. We'll take it, Cole. We'll take 30 seconds. One of the nicest guys outside the podcast. You go up and talk to him. He's one of the nicest guys ever, but I would not want to be standing across the cage from that guy. No.
Dude, when I go down and train with him, the couple times I've gone down and trained with him, not like I'm a regular training partner, but like when I've gone down a couple times, dude, that freak sucks.
I'll never forget the phone call after you trained with him the first time. Zach's like, Cole is a mother to train with. Like,
dude, he's a monster.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. I mean, he trains nice. But I mean, I got the feeling very soon. I'm like, Cole could pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah. And just the level of competition, the level of our the gyms here, which I know we've talked about it before. I don't care where you're at in Utah. There's a gym for you to train at. A high level gym for you to train at, not just some rinky dink gym. You will get high level training at anywhere in Utah. Pick a place.
And you can't say Cole without giving his coach Nanad, credit. I mean, this guy and Cole, just like nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. And he's one of the best coaches in the state, and nobody knows him. He's a legit, I believe, brown belt in jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah.
His Muay Thai and his stand-up's great. I've had a ton of conversations with Cole. He's still learning and educating himself, and then they're working and teaching each other. It's crazy. Nanad is high-level coach, and Cole's his guy, and it's like a two-man wrecking crew, and they just kind of go in there, and Cole's dad's always there, and Cole's dad is a great coach too, man. I go in there, he when I went down there a couple times, he gives me little pointers and stuff. I mean, that little team that they have there, I think it's special.
Yeah. And
I know that Cole's had some invites to go train at some bigger gyms and stuff too, but what they have there is special, and I think it's gonna work for him pretty well. It's working. He looked amazing.
It's pretty scary when the wrestler has hands. Like,
he's got great boxing and kicks too.
I mean, his kicks, like he threw a kick, and I think I felt the wind from the kick.
Cole's yeah. Good luck. I
mean, what do they have to get? They have to get 4 wins. Is that what it is? 4 wins to get
4 fight winning streak.
And his knees, yeah. Alexis just said, and he had a beautiful knee in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, cannot say enough about. I mean, Alexis is listing him off. That's I probably shouldn't say this. He's got the full tool set. Cole Schaefer has much like Cole Faust, the full tool set. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kicks, knees, elbows. He's a mixed martial artist to a T, and
You're starting to see, if you haven't already, what it takes to get at that top level in this sport. When you look at guys like Faust, Schaefer, who I know I'm missing other people in there, but you see these guys, these guys. They're training every day. There is no off season for these guys.
Oh, by the way,
hey, I'm going to sit and get 20 pounds overweight, 30 pounds overweight in the off season, and then cut when I'm in training camp. No, training camp is every day for these guys.
There's no training camp.
Yeah, there is no training camp.
They're always training.
I know, and Schaefer, Faust, those guys have been in camp the whole freaking. We better stop. We're making them blush. These guys, they've been training the whole time.
You run like an old grandpa, Cole. There's that.
Man.
He runs like an old broken down wrestler. Kidding. Don't hurt me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're gonna get leg kicked.
That's okay. Yeah, I got a special treat. I'm not gonna say it on air, but I got a special treat for Cole. Ooh. And he knows it's coming. He just doesn't know when yet. I got something special for Cole.
But you're seeing it, man, and what it takes. Some of you young guys up and coming, take a page out of these guys' book and pay attention to what these guys are doing that are winning and that are improving every fight. Because, dude, I'm excited. SteelFist is back. Fierce is back.
May 1st.
May 1st is the next SteelFist.
SteelFist event, and when that happens, boom.
I
mean, it was fun, man. It was so fun. It was good to see everybody. I think it's stupid that they wouldn't let corners in the cage, but they pack us in the back room like freaking herded cattle back there. We're just like stuffed shoulder to shoulder, but we can't get in the cage because of COVID, and social distancing and everybody's shoulder to shoulder at all the tables. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I'm looking around.
Do we have no common sense? There's just none. But hey, you know what? I don't care. Whatever it takes to make people up on Capitol Hill happy enough to give us fights, we'll do it again.
Yep.
Whatever. It was fun.
I thought everybody was pretty good with it. I think it's hard to enforce it when you got somebody sitting at a table and eating.
What was really hard was when I was cornering Tyler. Because Scott Bowler makes eye contact with me during the middle of the round to pull my mask up. Because I'm pulling my mask down so I could shout instruction to Tyler Billings. And I'm like, you can't. I don't know. You can't shout through a mask the same way. It's weird. So, anyways, whatever. I mean,
yeah, it was fun. Good night.
It's freaking fun.
Monday nights at 5:30, SLC Muay Thai. Nanad teaches class. Come check it out.
Cole, are you going to be there in 20 minutes? That's what I want to know. Is Cole going to be there in 20 minutes?
Are you going to be there? Are you going to drive down?
I can't even make it in 20 minutes.
Yeah, me neither. All right, man. Well, I'm trying to line up a couple fighter spotlight interviews for Wednesday.
Okay.
If we can't get those scheduled, we'll see you guys Friday for. Yep, he's driving down now, and Alexis is there too. If we don't see you Wednesday, we'll see you guys Friday to break down UFC Vegas 22, Derek Brunson and Kevin Holland.
Wow. That's a good one. Freaking Cole. No days off. That's what I'm talking about.
No days off.
He just won and he took Sunday off and back down training.
I know I was getting off, but look at Johan. You were talking about Johan. The guy's on vacation. He's posting pictures of him running freaking 3 miles and exercising and working out, and he's on vacation. Like this is what it takes if you want to succeed. Anyways, all right, fellas. Ladies, we out.
We out.
That was fun.
Waiting for the